So I was watching a few videos on YouTube the other day on Welcome to Farmtown just to see what other people were doing, and all of them were either Let's Plays by big YouTubers. Um, they were either afactual or they were outdated, meaning something had come out which had changed the scope of Farmtown. Um, so I'm going to make a clear and concise uncut video on the progression through Farmtown. So as you could see at the beginning, you got it. Um, I have 4 plots of land, so it's been a while since I've been at the beginning of the game. Not too long though, I would say about a week. It only took me a week to get here. Um, and that's not playing a whole lot every day even. So when you start off you have 1 plot of land. Your prime directive should get to 2 plots. So that's I would think $1,000, yeah. $1,000 gets you your second plot. That is easy cash. You'll earn that after a few quests. So your primary quest, which is how you're going to be making most of your money early on, is Pitchfork Jeb right there, and then the miner, which is down that path. Yeah, that path. That path. That one that has the hedge. Um, those two are going to be your early on go-to guys, and they give you giant pumpkin seeds and magic seeds, and the giant pumpkins can be sold back to Pitchfork Jeb for around $1,800. So once you have your second plot of land, you should immediately work towards your third plot of land because farming is going to be your main source of money until you get all your animals right here and your house. So once you get 3 plots of land, you should just start getting your upgrades, unless you have gotten them already. So you can see up here you have your 2 watering cans, your 3 backpacks. You should immediately work towards the highest backpack and watering can because they make your life so much easier. And you're going to make corn. Corn is the best crop for that level, and for the amount of time it takes, the amount of water it sucks up. Corn is the go-to move. You're gonna have to farm it. You'll figure out how to farm it where it's about like 5 cycles where you can harvest corn and 1 cycle where you have to harvest seeds, because when you harvest corn you don't get the seed back with it. So once you have enough money, you're gonna slowly work your way up um, to buying the Milk-O-Matic, the dog, the barn, both silos, the chicken coop. That's I know that that's a big jump in one step, but that's truly just the next step. You can sum it all up in get all your animals and all your buildings. So because they don't really give a whole lot of money by themselves. When you are selling corn, you're going to be making a whole lot more than if you are spending that same amount of time running around picking up milk and eggs and selling them. Even if you do turn it to butter, that's still not enough money to make up for planting and harvesting and selling corn. So what you're going to want to do is slowly work up to buy all your animals. Once you have enough animals to make it worth it, you're going to buy a $500 farmhand. Only buy the $500 ones because the only difference between that and $1,000 is $1,000 runs faster, but there's a lot of downtime in Farmtown, and the downtime makes it not worth it. So you can have a slower guy that does the same amount of work because, you have to wait for your dog to bring the cows over and you have to wait for the eggs to produce. So buy the 500s. That is definitely your best bet. You're gonna triple your profit as long as you keep your expenses minimal. So once you have your house, once you have your fridge, once you have your stove, you're gonna have your farmhand that's doing the animals. That's very important. You definitely need a guy to do your animals because it takes a lot of time, and that's the time that you should be spending on corn. You're gonna select your farmhand to store items in your fridge. So if you haven't hired a farmhand yet, this button right here, you click that button and all of a sudden he's going to start storing milk and eggs into your fridge. Now we're going to focus on is your eggs, because eggs accumulate much less quickly than your milk. So actually several times you're going to have to empty out your milk, turn it to butter, and sell it, because what you want to do is accumulate eggs. Once you have a lot of eggs, um, I don't know what a lot, I guess 100, then you want to get all of the items necessary for making a chocolate cake. That's all this. It has honey in there. Honey doesn't give a whole lot of money, so what I did was I planted 2 rows of poppy, and I would collect all the honey from those 2 rows and then store it. You have the milk, which is easy, the butter, which is easy, hay, chocolate, and eggs. You get chocolate you should get around 150 chocolate from an old man quest, a pretty common old man quest. You can give him carrots, he'll give you a lot of chocolate. You don't have to buy it. Um, and then you should just store it. You should never carry more than about 200 chocolate, just because that's a waste of fridge space and you're not going to make 200 cakes at one time. So once you have all the ingredients for chocolate cake, you should have, 1,000 hay or something. You make it. Then you should just sit here and make chocolate cakes. Chocolate cakes is how you advance fast. I'm talking super fast. Each chocolate cake, the ingredients sold separately would be about $15, and you can sell each chocolate cake to the baker in town for over $1,000. Most likely, or sometimes you can get around $1,500 for each chocolate cake. What you're going to do is you're going to come to the baker. The quest for chocolate cakes starts out with the term, "I had a client," which means that you could sit here and and then click this "sorry right now" box until you get this. Now, sometimes he'll lowball you, sometimes he'll offer you less than $1,000. You don't want to take that, because with a few more seconds you can get a quest that'll offer you over $1,000 for each cake. So that one, he offered me over $1,000 for each cake. That's only 2 cakes, but the baker reloads pretty fast. During that time, you can also do Pitchfork Jeb's quests. You should be constantly doing Pitchfork Jeb's quests, because he'll give you magic seeds and giant pumpkin seeds, and that's each magic seed makes 20 magic beans. Each magic bean sells for 25. That's $500 per magic seed. There's no other use for it right now. It's just purely just to grow and sell. But the pumpkin itself will sell for $1,500, as I said earlier, back to Pitchfork Jeb. So once you have all your chocolate cakes made and you have earned enough money to buy your 4th plot, don't make the stable a priority. Once you buy your 4th plot, the stable should be the very last thing you buy, except for maybe the greenhouses, just because the greenhouses doesn't do that much more than the irrigation tracks, and it costs so much more than the irrigation tracks. So you're going to be selling these chocolate cakes, going to Pitchfork Jeb, and you're going to slowly buy irrigation tracks for all 4 plots, starting with plot number 1. Plot number 1 makes the most amount of money, because it takes a non-negligible amount of time for your farmhand at plot number 4 to run all the way down to your storage box, to your selling box, and then all the way back. Whereas plot number 1 can run there and back and then keep his work going fast enough. So I did a test earlier. I cleared plot number 1 and I fired my farmhand. You can see my box right here. There's too much stuff for Smalley to run over here. He only has 100 pounds worth of storage space in his backpack. There's too much stuff in my box for him to take, even if he's doing constant runs. So I did a test. I cleared plot 1, And over time, this box emptied so that Smalley could keep up with the orders from 2, 3, and 4, plots 2, 3, and 4. Then I did the same test. I put this back on and I cleared plot 4, and Smalley could not keep up with the orders because plot number 1, I would say, makes over twice as much than plot number 4, simply because of the running distance. So over time, you're going to buy these irrigation tracks. The irrigation tracks are key. You should not have a farmhand unless your track is fully irrigated. And you should also not buy sprinklers. All right, sprinklers are a waste of money, the very crucial money that you need early on in the game to buy all your farms and beehives and whatnot in order to make chocolate cakes. So once you have all your irrigation tracks, you're going to buy 4 farmhands that are worth $500 each, and you're gonna make them have it. You're gonna set them to have blueberries because blueberries, when coupled with a farmhand, do not have to be replanted. And seed management with farmhands is just a pain in the neck. So you're gonna have 4 farmhands on 4 plots that have 4 irrigation tracks making blueberries, and those blueberries are gonna come in here, and eventually they're going to become too much for Smalley to take back in in constant trips. So what does that do? You're going to have a bunch of blueberries. You're going to wait for a government subsidy that offers about over 40% additional money for blueberries, and then you're just going to sit here. You're going to fill up your backpack. You're going to run down to the store and back. You're going to make a bunch of trips, and you're going to sell these blueberries. There isn't a subsidy right now, so I'm not going to do it, but don't just think that you have to unload all of your goods. They're not going to go anywhere. They're going to sit in that box, so just let them sit, wait for government subsidy. This whole time, you're making chocolate cakes and you're selling them to the baker for over $1,000 each. And that is how you earn the maximum amount of money at the end game in Farmville.